name's Adrian Younge, producer, composer, musician, and I was graced with the opportunity to actually produce an album for the legendary Souls of Mischief. These are 4 iconic rappers from Oakland that are some of my favorite MCs ever to grace the mic.
Basically, how we met Adrian Younge was a few years back after Black Dynamite had come out, which is an album he produced, soundtrack for the movie. I just ended up seeing him. We ended up being in the same Twitter conversation talking about people who would be down to work with Souls of Mischief. And when I saw Adrian Younge's name pop into it, he was like, I would love to work with Souls of Mischief. And I immediately knew who he was off top because I was already, you know, a fan of the Black Dynamite joint. So I hit him back and I was like, yo, man, we'd love to work with you and stuff. And I'd say like a year and a half later, probably, we were trying to figure out what we were going to do for our 20th year anniversary album. And then we had the idea, like, you know, to see what's up with Adrian Younge. So I reached back out to him and it was like, you know, are you still down? I know it's been a while. We didn't get to talk. And he was instantly cool with it. You know, a little bit after that, we were meeting him. A few weeks after that, we were recording the record.
The storyline is basically is based on a real incident that happened with Souls of Mischief where they had a near-death experience, and we all kind of came together to try to add narrative to that true story.
You know, it happened like, I guess it was like right at the end of 93 or 94, in the beginning, something like that, where we was hanging out in San Francisco. There was a few cats with us. Dante Ross was there. All the Souls of Mischief was there. Saphir was there. And we outside chilling, smoking, just chopping it up. And this dude just ran up, pulling a ski mask over his face. Ran right up to Domino, put a gun right in his face, and just pulled the trigger. Everybody just kind of scattered, you know what I mean? And when we came back together, we all thought that Domino was dead. And by the grace of God, you know what I mean? It was a miracle, basically, because I saw it with my own eyes, and I was like, oh, no, you know what I mean? Like, we was all shook, you know what I mean? Like, wow, we just saw our friend just get murdered right in our face. But he, like, turned his head perfectly at the right time, had powder burn all over his face, his eye was all red, you know what I mean? Like, he just barely, I don't know how he survived that. And the whole room kind of was like, oh. And AJ was like, yeah, that's it. You know what I mean? Like, let's start there. Let's bring in some elements of realism into that.
As far as recording the analog, we recorded our 93 Till is recorded a 2-inch tape, and our second album, No Man's Land, is. So the difference is in the song creation process. We're not walking in most of the time with a beat being made there. This guy's building it as we're coming together. You know, it's like a building process. Like, so he's playing the drums the whole time. When he break down, it's him stopping and then coming, you know, so it's that the difference was sort of in the song creation. But as far as the recording techniques, from a lyrical perspective, we started recording our lyrics on 2-inch. So we were used to it from that angle.
Everything I do is all analog. I don't do anything digitally. I don't use Pro Tools. And it's not that I don't like Pro Tools. It just doesn't work for what I do. Because I make music that is based on a handcrafted artisan perspective, where it's, like I said, it's analog, hardware, real mics. Everything is pretty much pre-1983. And I try to create the kind of landscape they would have in the late 60s, early 70s, because that's personally my golden era of recording. That's where most of the golden era hip-hop samples came from. And there's a reason why these ill producers were picking that time frame to sample from. that is the best, warmest sound. I like to record with that modernly. Therefore, I can't cut corners. I have to try to make that indelible stamp, that formidable sound, and you can only do that with analog.
The past is an illusion, there is only now. The past is an illusion, there is only now. The past is an illusion, there is only now. The past is an illusion, there is only now. A creature in a mission, there is only now. Of this there is the question, there is only now. The future is a fiction, there is only now. And if I get you lifted, would you hold me down? And if you think I'm slipping, would you show me how? The past is an illusion, there is only now. Check it. It was a kind of love for people only find it once. Divinely touched by angels, it was no time for lust. Some will tell them that a teenage love but never lasts. Looking through the glass, a fast score, so fast forward to the future where the view don't wanna change it. But this couple don't care what you say, their hearts blazing. Can't nobody tell them nothing, they love is unstoppable. Overcome any obstacle, together they will always grow. You know they say it, take them on the hurdles.
You know what? I don't even think I noticed that until like I saw the proofs, the photo proofs, but Adrian was concocting that whole thing while he was doing it. And to be honest with you, I think it was just he wanted us to be doing something different. You know, it's kind of like if you have a photo of 4 guys and everybody's doing the same thing, it's not as interesting if everybody's doing something different. It really was like some native tongues thing. You know what I'm saying? That's really what he was trying to do. Like,
this music is something that touches on that feeling that we all had when we heard music drop in the golden era. So when we heard Low End Theory drop, when we heard 93 Till Infinity drop, when we heard De La Soul is Dead, there's a feeling that you got. And this artwork captures that feeling. It's the color scheme, the photography, everything about it should tell the modern listener that understands that time that this album touches on that golden era. That's why we did the artwork the way we did.
I don't know what y'all get into tonight, but remember this. That was yesterday. There might be tomorrow, but there is only now. Ali Shaheed Muhammad signing off with you. We're going to drop this last joint. Thank you for listening. Good night.
What up? It's Ali Shaheed Muhammad here to talk about my collaboration with the Souls of Mischief, the There Is Only Now album. That came together from reaching out to Adrian Younge about something completely different, just learning about his music, who he is, and having a conversation musician to musician. And he had told me that he was working on the Souls of Mischief album and had this idea of me hosting it a la the radio DJ from the Warriors movie.
I wanted him to be like the female DJ in the Warriors, the movie The Warriors, where she was telling a story to shed light on what was going on within the story, you know what I'm saying? So he came in to really tie in and push the narrative, and he did an excellent job.
I think Adrian, when he creates, he has a complete vision before he starts. So I was just a piece in that vision, you know, and I think it was more his interpretation of me, what he thought, you know, he wanted from the Ali Shaheed Muhammad in conjunction with this idea of doing this Souls of Mischief back to 1994, sort of like, you know, Tribe was going on around that time. So I think it was just something that was sculpted out in Adrian's head, and he explained it to me, and I got it.
I pray this feeling never leaves me, I want it forever. And I'll do anything to see that we always together. Whatever it takes for something that no one can sever. Together, forever, whatever it takes for something that no one can sever. And I'll do anything to see that we always together. Forever, together, together, forever. When I'm ready for fantasy, move the fantasy, fantasy, move. Flipping townhouse down south. Now, wow, gals, outbound, fishing over this city, folks in this boat, pushing the envelope. Extended hope to an innermost impulse. His desire for a child undisclosed. Libertad of
process of where we had to write it together, one, and write it in sequence. It couldn't, like, nobody could skip ahead and write their part. You had to have the information from whatever anybody else said earlier part in the song or in their verse. So we were together for the whole process in Adrian's studio. I mean, he lives in SoCal. We live in the Bay, Northern California. We'd travel down there, whether we flew or whether we drove. It was a different kind of process for every song. You know, for that particular song, it was involved in how we were going to make that come on. I guess every song had a story like that, but that was a particularly interesting song for all of us to write. But yeah, we sat together for every song and thought through everything together, and that was the process.
I like that particular song because we're playing the minds of every character in the song and also playing the actual role. So it slides from being inside of Womac's brain to being inside of Miriam's brain to the guys at the bar like, what's going on with this girl, to going back into her brain. Then she gets hit and then it goes into Stoney's brain. You know, like it's like a first person in all these from all these different perspectives.
First, just let me say that we felt the same way you felt when we heard it. The first time we heard it, we were like, "Oh my God!" Like this is really like, "Oh my God!" You know, like it was really like, "Oh my God!" Like this is crazy. I mean, we've always wanted to work with Busta, and we never really got the chance to do it. So, I mean, it just happened. Like, I mean, this was when it was supposed to happen. You know what I'm saying? But just because we've known him for so long. But yeah, I think it was Adrian was just talking about this the other day. While Busta was writing the verse, he would call him and say, "Would he do this or would he do that?" Or he was really picking Adrian's brain as to what the character would do and what we told Adrian about this guy. We don't really know much about him other he had on a ski mask and he tried to kill one of us. You know what I mean? That's pretty much all we know. But I mean, Busta, if it's anybody who has the imagination to like dive into that kind of brain and then really bring it to the people and also in kind of a comical, only Busta fashion. I mean, it was perfect. I can't imagine anybody else on it now that I hear that. And I always tell people that there's something about that bass line that reminds me a bit of the Scenario bass line. I don't know if it's the rhythm or what something about it. And yeah, so I mean, it's just that guy. That's that guy. That he nailed it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, he nailed it.